Hurricane Ian is moving north after making landfall overnight and battering Cuba. The storm is gaining strength and expected to become a major Category 4 hurricane. The latest track shows Tampa, Florida, taking a direct hit, with the city expecting the worst storm it's seen in a century. Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z starts us off from Tampa.
Made landfall as a Category 3 in western Cuba, lashing that island with winds of 125 miles per hour. All that after roaring west of Grand Cayman. Hurricane hunters flying into the eye to gather data as it rapidly intensified. And this is just the beginning. Ian is still strengthening as it heads north toward Florida. Storm drains in Miami already overwhelmed by tropical moisture days ahead of the storm. Water spewing from the middle of the street. Florida under a state of emergency with hundreds of thousands of mandatory evacuations already underway. Tampa Bay preparing for a worst-case scenario. If they take a landfalling major hurricane, it will be the strongest storm for Tampa in a century. So many of the beaches west of Tampa have erosion issues just from regular thunderstorms or sunny day floods. But now with this huge monster of Ian coming at them, erosion will be a problem. FEMA loading 360 trailers with more than 2 million meals as 5,000 guardsmen from the state are being activated.
And Ginger Z joins me from Tampa live now. Ginger, what's the latest forecast on the track of the storm and what can that area expect?
So, Diane, here in Tampa Bay, there are evacuations, but there are also new evacuations down to western Lee County, which is Sanibel, Captiva, a lot closer to Fort Myers. And I think that's a very good idea. I'll show you why. We'll start with the satellite. It is just coming off western Cuba. It will intensify to a Category 4 as it approaches the peninsula of Florida. What will happen after that? It will start to die down. It's going to run into some shear. There are a couple of driving factors that are trying to move this even farther south than what the current track has. So I anticipate that the National Hurricane Center may even nudge this farther south through Sarasota or maybe even Venice. Remember, that right side of the storm, the one who takes the most surge, the worst of the winds, that is where we want to focus our time and efforts, at least upon landfall, which could be as early as tomorrow afternoon, as late as early Thursday morning, depending on how far north the storm goes. Now, surge is an issue not just here, where we anticipate 5 to 10 feet, but if you look at my drone, I've got this new tool that I can share with you. That's the Hillsborough Bay that you're seeing, that X right there, Tampa behind it. Now, what's fascinating about a storm like this is something they have not seen in a century, where water would be piling up from south to north into this bay, and you see how it could converge there, right over the river, the Hillsborough River, and this would not just flood everyone along Bayshore, you know, for a block or two like we usually see with storm surge. Because this is also low and because there is another bay, Old Tampa Bay, on the other side, we could end up seeing this surge go for miles inland. Now, if this does shift to the south, Tampa would be on the north side of it. That would take water away from Tampa and do something called anti-surge. And that's what you're seeing there on the map with Tampa on the north. This is one of the computer models, which again, all of them are trending south this morning. We're going to have to be very nimble and on our toes, and everyone from Naples and Fort Myers all the way up to Cedar Keys still need to be on the lookout. And if I can just mention Orlando, Jacksonville, you're going to see major impacts from the storm either way. 10 to 25 inches of rain and tornadoes possible with surge even on that wraparound in Jacksonville. Diane.
And Ginger, often before storms like this, you see people, they're putting shutters over the windows, they're stacking sandbags. What can you do to defend against a storm surge like that?
Storm surge you have to just be away from, truly be away from the water. And so I've seen, and I've been there for Hurricane Michael, back to Hurricane Katrina, anytime you have a surge that's 10 plus feet, this comes within 30 to 90 seconds. It would wash in. It's like the ocean just creates that bubble it's been carrying under that hurricane, and it pushes it right on land. And so you need to be away. Water is incredibly powerful. You need to move away from water. So if you're in an evacuation zone, you have to heed those warnings. It really is the only way to survive a surge like that.
And Ginger, we know these storms can move pretty quickly, both in terms of their speed, but also in terms of the track. So what are you looking out for as you keep getting more and more forecasts?
So wind will always be an issue, right? Power outages, absolutely. But with this one, because you have such susceptible land, a lot of these little keys that stick out, it's not just erosion, but it's all that water that will push up and over. And sometimes you have water on the other side. So even as the storm passes, you see that wraparound and you get kind of a double hit. I think a lot of those beaches down this shore could end up seeing double hits. And we watch as this moves. I mean, you can see flooding in Miami because those outer bands can have extreme. I just want everybody to realize in the state of Florida, while it is not a time to panic, it is absolutely the time to prepare and pay very close attention, because as this line moves, every single mile will count.
All right, good advice. Ginger Z, thank you, friend. Stay safe.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.